My name's Nicole McAtamney. I am 29. I am a camogie, playing at the minute for Dunloy and for Antrim. I started camogie as far back as I can remember, probably 5 or 6 for the club, and probably started playing county maybe when I was 14, 15. I have 2 children. I have Joe and Dan. I had Joe whenever I was 21, studying at St Mary's University in final year. I had him in the middle of my final year, so I just remember very vaguely the girls in the St Mary's Camogie team were in, I think it's maybe Dublin at the time, playing in their All-Ireland final, and I was at home planning my dissertation and ready to do my finals, and thinking briefly about giving birth. So we were, it was a busy year, but I had Joe at 21, and then I had Dan the year before last, so Dan's 1 at the minute, so busy.
What was harder, not being able to make the final or thinking about giving birth?
My dissertation. It was stressing me the most, but it took my mind off what was to come, in fairness, so it wasn't all bad.
Good, good. Who inspired you? I know you said you started really, really young, but who was the person, I suppose, that took you to camogie and got you really into it, and what keeps you passionate and keeps you involved?
I think family is going to be the most common answer to that question for everybody. Whenever you're young, I suppose the person that's taking you out to your trainings and keeping you at your trainings and whatnot, it's always going to be your parents and those that show up week after week at your batches. But one person that stands out the most for me would have to be my granny Eileen. She is there at everything. I remember out in the backyard coaching me from I was no age, and still to this day, after every match she'll analyse it, she'll tell me what I did well, but she will make sure I know what I did wrong and what to do better next time and what she would have did in her day. So I'd have to say she stands out for me in that one. Mommy in that now definitely encouraged me to come back after having the boys, particularly after Dan. After Joe was easy enough. I was 22 then, and it was easy enough to kind of throw myself back in at it. I had it in my head, I was young enough, it's grand, I'll come back. This time was definitely different. Confidence was zero. I was like, there's no way I can go back to county. I was struggling to go back to club, to be honest, and it wasn't skill in how I was performing or anything like that. It was 90% up in my head. Just had so little confidence in myself and just didn't think I could do it. But now it is people like Mommy in my ear being like, no, why can't you? She would ask me constantly, what's the reasons why not? So I think that definitely, she would encourage me more now, but Granny definitely would inspire me long term.
So what process did you go through mentally, I suppose, to be able to get your confidence back? What for you did it? So somebody out there who is struggling with their confidence at the minute, what would the advice you would give to them?
I think confidence is one thing, and confidence after children is a different thing. Confidence in general is, I think your coaches around you and the people around you in your ear have a massive impact, and it's, I suppose, in a sense, blocking out the negativity. Anyone telling you can't don't know you and clearly don't know what your strengths are. You're never going to get the best out of someone if you are telling them they can't do something or they're doing something wrong, or you're constantly picking up on the things that they're not doing great. But if you start buying into the things that they are doing well and the things that they're really good at, you start to get a whole other side to someone. So I think it's listening as a player to the good things, the positive things, and the things that they're doing really well, and that you're hearing those things constantly in your ear about what you're doing good, and then it kind of spirals. I think it's very easy to go in an upward spiral if you're getting a bit of backing from someone about confidence.
So, you're a mum, a club camogie, county camogie, a teacher, coach. How do you do it? How do you fit it all in?
Sometimes I don't. As you can see there, me running up, it'll be 5 minutes, I'm always late. But support network's massive. I have an unbelievable support network and family. I think my husband definitely just gets it. He understands it, and to be fair, I think he sees the side of me when I don't have sports. So he knows the benefits of me playing sport for sure. But support network's definitely a big one. Family are constantly picking up the pieces and helping me. I have my mummy and daddy and Decky's mummy and daddy both helping out on each side, particularly on match days for county. They would help out, but then for training and stuff, Decky's always there. School, Loretto are unbelievably understanding. Anything I need, they're usually so good at helping. The girls around me in work are, again, know that I'm either coming or running to training, so they'd always cover me. But generally just a really good support network all around me.
So you just said there as well that your husband sees the benefits for you in sport.
Absolutely.
I hear that so often. What are those? What does getting out to your sport and your training do for you?
I think as a mammy more than anything, there's so much hype in media at the minute and talk about how overstimulated motherhood is and working, and you're in a constant battle with yourself about the next thing that you have to do, and the next thing you have to do, you're doing a washing, you're cooking. If I'm in the house in the evenings, I am 100 mile an hour, literally doing one thing, next thing, and constantly busy, whereas, and then I'd blow, it'll just all come to a head, and that'll be it, I'll be in the worst form. Whereas if I have my bit of time in the evening, I know that I'm training a Tuesday or a Thursday, I know I've that bit of time to myself, and I'm out of the house, and it's just freedom. It's just the freedom to go and let loose. At the end of the day, you play camogie, and sports is a hobby. It's something you go to enjoy, so I think it's so important to always keep that side of it and maintain that side of it. If I'm going out and I'm enjoying my sport, I know that I'm still meant to be there.
So I know you've had lots of fabulous achievements in sport, but what's the one you're proudest of? And I suppose, what's your goal? What's your big goal?
I think my biggest achievement, I would have to say, is the All-Ireland in 2021 with Antrim. I think from no age, any young camogue's dream is always going to be Croke Park. And to have that chance to be able to play in Croke Park was one thing, but to win the first time you've ever played in Croke Park is another thing. Having family around you on that day, and just that overwhelming feeling of Croke Park, the winning, the atmosphere, I think it'll be pretty hard to beat. In terms of goals, I never look too far ahead, but our club team have went from strength to strength over the last number of years. Our minors are coming up through, and they have added so much to our senior team. So I definitely think club championship is probably my biggest goal of them all. Whenever you have been chasing something for so long, it's definitely one that you want the most. I can't see me stop until I get it, but that's a big statement, so we'll take it year by year. I think definitely we're getting closer and closer every year. I think becoming a mammy definitely changes your perspective on a lot of things. I think I see sport now more so than ever as a hobby, and a kind of where you do get that bit of freedom and time for yourself. But I really see sport more open-mindedly for the children who are playing, coming behind me, particularly in schools. From a coaching perspective, I see children who are parents' children and mommies, wee boys and girls that they're sending into school, and you really see how hurt they can get if they're not playing well, or if they're having a bad day or things like that. I see it in my own children, particularly Joe, how much it means to him and how much he wants to do well. And I think understanding that nobody ever goes out to do anything wrong, or nobody ever goes out to mess up a game or hit a wide, and it's just having that kind of understanding, right, okay, these are only children, and to keep that mindset. So definitely would see it more from a mammy perspective rather than a teammate. I think it's benefited me more that way. As a teammate, I definitely think that you realise that everyone has a life outside of it, and they're all coming from different backgrounds. You don't know what anybody's day has been like, where they've been, what their day has kind of set up, or what way it's kind of went. So I think it's so important to look after each other and look out for each other. I definitely think I take the mammy title of the team sometimes, just for the younger girls coming up through. It's scary playing with senior players that have been there longer than you, just giving them that wee boost if maybe they've missed out in the starting jersey. It's very competitive there at the minute, and there are a number of young girls who are so close but are absolutely devastated if they don't get that position in a starting team. So I think it's being there for them and supporting them too, and making sure that everyone's okay around you.
How important do you think it is for girls to see women and mothers in not only leadership roles but leading on the pitch as well?
Crucial. I think there are far too many girls that I know of, club, county, either level, that have had children, have dipped in but just left it there. I think that it is so important to encourage people who've just had children back onto the pitch. All it takes is a conversation and someone encouraging you from the background, and a sincere conversation. Sitting down and actually being like, no, you are good, you've still got your skill, we'll work on your fitness together, we're there to support you, we're there to help you. And I think if they've got that element of trust, if you trust them and they have that element of trust in you and knowing how that you still have that skill and that they want you back, then it's kind of, you're halfway there. But it's so important to get girls who have so much to give to teams still the option to have a family and camogie. As I say, far too many girls are stepping away whenever they have their children, and yes, it's difficult to be a mammy, but with correct management around you and support around you, it's definitely doable. You can very easily have girls turn away because maybe strength and conditioning isn't suiting them. Obviously the ins and outs of coming back after having children is difficult, so I think it's very, very important to support that.
Okay, so do you find that playing sport positively impacts your students, especially girls?
Most definitely. We have pupils in school who are of all different academic ability. Some children are flourishing in the classroom and some maybe not so much, but sports in many cases are the one thing that children has that brings out the best in them. You could have a child in class, it's the most difficult child to teach. You get them on a pitch and they're your best corner forward. So I definitely think it brings out the best. It also allows me, from a personal perspective, as a teacher, to see that child in a different light. It's very easy to get caught up in a classroom and teach and discipline rules, school rules, but when you go out onto a pitch it's just different. You get to know the child on a different level and you get to bring out the best in children. So yeah, it positively impacts children in schools.
Brilliant. How do you think we can make camogie more accessible and welcoming to girls from all backgrounds?
I think the easiest target for starting something new is younger children, particularly primary schools. If you're bringing something new into children in secondary schools and older children, it's very difficult. Their confidence is down before you even get to them. So I do think investment in schools and funding in schools could be improved to allow young children to even firstly know what camogie is. Get a stick in their hand, see if they like it. It's probably not a GAA problem, it's probably a societal problem that we have here, but I think it can be worked with. There's plenty of schools out there that would be willing to have coaches in. I know a couple of girls from St Mary's, whenever I was studying there, did go out and around schools, primary schools, to coach and learn how to coach and take PE lessons. You ask what schools it is, it's your St Joseph's, Lockheil schools, Cushendall schools, all your Catholic primary schools. So it would be lovely to see a number of children in primary schools getting the experience. We are fortunate in school in Loreto to have children from all different backgrounds, and they come to us in year 8 and they're like, I want to play that. I want to play that sport. Maybe I've never seen a hurl in their life before, and it would just be lovely for them to have the background in it, to be coming and starting the same level as the rest. We do have a number of different sports in school with us that allow for all backgrounds and all people to get involved in. You'd have hockey there, rugby starting up recently, so I can't see why it shouldn't be in primary schools as well.
What advice would you give to young girls dreaming of playing camogie at a high level? To never give up, and it's such a cliche thing to say, but you take the dropout rates of young girls in sports now, you're probably talking 5 and 10, 50% of children who played camogie in their younger days, when they get to secondary school they give up.
and it can be down to so many different things, but it's the person themselves finding that resilience to keep on going if you love it enough. No matter who's on the sideline saying what, whenever your confidence is down, be the person to build yourself up. Bring yourself back up where you want to be. You can never practice enough. You can never hit enough balls off a wall, hit enough balls out with someone else. I just remember growing up, I never had a stick out in my hand. Always up around the pitch, always batting a ball off a wall. So your practice is your number one. And put yourself out there. Whenever it comes to county trials, whenever it comes to county selection, if you're not there, you're never going to be there. If you don't go to county trials and if you don't put yourself out there and try, well, then you failed already. So put yourself out there more.